kind of going through the theme of sales recovery, and just kind of letting Mandy know that the whole idea for the 2-day event is to be able to provide our attendees with the option to attend up to 12 sessions. And you'll see here, the days are split up into 2 streams, aka like two rooms basically, but there are different sessions in each one. So for the first day, and this applies to the second day as well, we'll have an opening keynote session. Everyone should attend that, kind of like our big kickoff type thing. And then there's a 15-minute break, and then the opportunity to join whatever session 2 is going to be or session 3 is going to be. Say we have a frontline sales dedicated session for session 2, and then a sales leadership one for session 3. They kind of have the choice, but they'll also have the choice to really choose, like if they want to pop in and out for each one, like that's no big deal either. We want people to, be provided with a very seamless experience. So we have a vendor who we just met with this morning who will be able to provide that. But yeah, that's what the AEPs are going to be able to do. They're going to be able to present for half an hour here, so from let's say 1:30 to 2 p.m., and then do a Q&A session at the very end, 10 minutes. And then they have the opportunity to do what I call an exhibit. So say Teneo wants to talk about their offerings for the fall, or they want to talk about their Evolve series. They have 10 minutes at the very end to pretty much be a booth at a trade show, if that makes sense. So this is what our days are going to be set up like.
Hey, Rupla.
Yeah?
Do we have a line, or do you have a hope around who the keynote will be?
Yeah, so I've already connected with Shane Gibson for our first one. Okay. Nick and I were chatting, and because he's just released a book on the new virtual digital kind of economy of selling, and because of what he's doing in the space, especially his latest webinar that did super, super well with us with Dr. Dennis Covier, I just think he might be a good option to really, really launch the first day. I reached out to him. He's camping for a little while, so I don't know when I'll hear back, but do you have any ideas, Catherine?
No, I was just sort of curious as to whether or not we were going within the CPSA family or external with a, high profile.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe Shane for the first day, and then Nick had also mentioned David Jeffrey from Salesforce as another potential keynote. He'd be a good one to close it off for sure. But it really is like it's super dependent on who's able to kind of contribute and be part of this, right?
Cool. And so Shane, he has a book on the virtual stuff. Is that his?
Yeah. It's on the new virtual economy and selling in the new digital age.
Okay.
It's a cool one. I actually have the copy with me. Yep.
Cool.
So that's what the day is going to look like. Every session for the AEPs has an opportunity to present for half an hour, have a 10-minute Q&A session, and then have a 10-minute kind of trade show booth. And then at the end of each day, we're going to try to have Sandro do a very quick, 15-minute closing remark. Get excited for your year. Get excited for the next day of our conference type thing. So this is essentially it, you guys. Like the point of this event is to be able to showcase to the sales community what our AEPs have to offer, and like B, who we have access to, right? Like we have access to the very much like the top leaders in sales across the country. So our goal for this, when I spoke to Nick in terms of attendees, was about 150 to 200 people. Our price point is significantly, I would say, lower than a lot of the sales conferences out there. With the big guys like Forrester's, for instance, like we're looking at like $1,500, $2,000 for a registration for a ticket. But for this, we're looking at, let me see if I have it in here. Here we go. We're looking at $249 for member cost and then $349 for non-member. We're also going to do early bird pricing starting next month at a price point of $185 for members and then $260 for non-members. And remember, this is a 2-day event with the pretty much like the value of attending 12 different sessions. And then, of course, some bulk pricing for maybe our enterprise members. So if you're looking at a group pass for 4 people or more from the same organization, you're looking at $750. And then for non-members, $1,000. So the savings there, like you could really save some money getting a bulk group pass.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Mandy.
When they do the exhibit time, and then let's say somebody approaches them that's an attendee.
Like
what?
For a question?
Not for a question, but for like interest in their offerings of training.
Yeah.
What would prevent them from not hooking with CPSA, like doing a joint effort training? Because that's what I'm finding I'm running into now.
Yeah.
Is even though they're coming from CPSA, what's keeping them, the customer, with CPSA as opposed to just going straight with the AAP and not us?
That's a really good question. Like, you mean going through the CPSA?
Yeah, like, because we want some of that revenue. That if the customer is a potential customer is interested in training with that AAP, we want some of that revenue, right? We want the referral or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be important that, yes, that we keep track of the customers, but that we also cross-reference their funnels, because I don't want someone attending this amazing conference and then going to the AEP directly and saying, hey, I want to work with you, and then not share the revenue from it.
Yeah, for sure. So what we're going to do is, like I said, when we're talking about the experience of this, we want people to be able to like choose who they attend. So say, for instance, we're talking about Lisa Leach. If Lisa is running one of the first sessions, for instance, we're going to have specific registration for that webinar with Lisa. And Lisa, kind of like, they're not paying for this, right? Like, they're not getting any money from us to run this. But part of the win, I guess, is the leads on both sides. But we run the same risk with any webinar that we do, right? Like with any accredited partner webinar that we do, what essentially is stopping an attendee, for instance, from going right over to Lisa, being like, I'm super interested in what you offer. I found you from the CPSA, for instance. You know what I mean? You're right, Mandy. Like, nothing is stopping them per se, but we also want them to have this exposure, right? Like, and we want them to come through us if we're going to be hosting this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just hard to bite the bullet like that.
But can we do, so with the each session, I know I missed a bit of it or whatever, but with each one, can we just have all, like this instructor or like this person, inquiries sent to, and have one email address or one phone number to go for all the inquiries, no matter who you would like to, who you liked in any of these offerings and stuff like that? That could be, can they still go around and just Google Lisa Leach and call her directly? Of course. But if we make it super simple for them, have questions for Lisa, email this, and then it goes to whichever rep is working with that AEP, that might be able to get some of it that way.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, even at the end of our webinars, right? Like, we a lot of the time have our AEP showcase their like contact information at the very end. So yeah, it's going to be.
I wouldn't allow that. That wouldn't be, the only info they should have is like info@cpsa.com or call, this number. No AEP should be able to provide their direct information on this particular thing.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a way to kind of like broker the relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and
even Mandy and Travis and Rupert, one of the things too with the new model that I think is slightly changing we had more of that being a problem days gone by, but with the new model, hopefully, that they will be very upfront with us in terms of this is a joint relationship with CPSA and bring us in. I know Carrie does that with me, and Lisa with Lisa, most of the stuff I've been bringing to her, but there seems to be a shift in their behaviors. I'm not sure that's with everybody,
Okay.
but fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then if we just don't make it simple for our people to contact those people, like when you're on here and you see an email to get more information, and if it's direct to Lisa, of course you're going to go direct to Lisa. But if the email or contact information is, you know, even if we did an info@cpsa.com or conference name at cpsa.com or something like that, then you know, do we still lose 5 or 10% of them that go directly? Sure, but better than, you know, like you said, at the end of a thing, they show, hey, this is my contact information. CPSA just put on this 300-person webinar. Now all of you call me directly so that I can cut CPSA out of this.
Well, you guys know, like, we're going to be getting the registration beforehand, right? So we could even use that information from the get-go and just kind of say we have 25 people attend or want to attend Lisa Leach's stream. We have the ability to kind of pull that list and be like, hey, like, I know that you're interested in Lisa Leach's content. You know, like, you've signed up for this session. Great. Love that you're interested. I am managing, you know, our partnership with Teneo.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
You know what I mean? Like, it could literally be that.
Exactly. Yeah. Preempt it and say, hey, you guys are all checking out Lisa. Your rep for that is Catherine or Mandy, whoever it is. You know, any questions kind of thing. That's really smart. That's a good idea. Yeah,
like, we're going to have all of that. The way I was shown the information on this morning's call with our vendor is, like, we have all of their information, first name, last name, company, like how many people on their sales team, obviously their phone number and their email address. Like, we have the same, if not more, like, lead information than we typically get from our webinars.
So maybe that goes to each individual rep first, figure out who's and all that, and then they could even, you know, like, I know you're even preempt it that way. I know you're about to attend our symposium coming up. There's going to be a lot of great information coming. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, anything you need after, any questions, whatever, just even word it like, you know, these AEPs are going, we don't want them inundated with questions. We're here to kind of help that and, you know, go from there.
And Travis, that's actually a really good point to segue into how we're going to offer Q&A. So in today's conversation, kind of in an ideal world, it would be really cool to have everything completely live. And we're hoping to have all of our AEPs join, if not for the whole session, for the whole, like, presentation. Also, you know, for the Q&A session at the very end of their session. But we also have an option to have them record their session and then attend just for that, like, whatever, 10 or 15 minutes, whatever that may be for the Q&A. So, like, we can also use that as a vessel to be like, hey, I saw that you were interested in attending Lisa Leach's webinar as part of our Sales Success Summit. You know, we want to make sure that you're getting everything that you had bargained for, type thing. If you have any questions that you want to ask Lisa specifically about her topic, because we're going to know the topic, ask them here and we'll make sure that we address them live or something. Like, we'll create a touch point.
Yeah, and then Mandy and Catherine can be like the agents for that AEP. Yeah. So I think that'll be fine if we preempt it, and then, you know, we may lose some of it, but, you know, we wouldn't want to do all of this and then lose the majority of the business.
For sure. Yeah, that's something that we need to think about for sure. I feel like the risk is always there. Like, you can get in contact with anyone when you have their first name or last name type thing. But at the very least, if we, to your point, Travis, create this type of touch point, we'll be able to get to them first.
Well, with our whole AEP program period, the risk is always there, right? Catherine could do a great job, and then all of a sudden they want to talk to the AEP directly, and then all of a sudden, you know, you find out 6 months later that they did some work with whoever, and, you know, so that risk is always there. It's going to be there, but
Yeah, I'm actually finding it being mitigated, Travis. I'm seeing a much
That's awesome.
better collaboration and working together. And if a customer client calls, emails, then they forward me the email. Like
Perfect.
it really has changed in terms of how
So
it's
you're
being
happier
handled.
then, obviously?
Yeah, it's much better relationships.
Good. No,
That's
that's great to
good.
hear.
Yeah, I'm
That's
Maybe they
pleasantly
just don't like
surprised,
Mandy
frankly.
very much. That could be it too, right? Always a
Shut
possibility.
it. Shut it.
Yeah.
I missed
That
a
can
bit
be
at the
true.
beginning, Ruplin.
Oh, yeah.
What would you need from me, or what are you thinking that I could help with? Because like I don't work with any AUPs, but I can definitely help.
Yeah, I'll get to that, Travis. The only thing that I really went through was the format of the conference, what we're looking at, kind of the
Okay.
experience. Do you want me to go through that
No,
again?
no,
I'm
just
happy.
send it to me later or whatever. Send me
Okay.
that. I saw part of it, so
Okay.
I'll skim through it later. I'm more of a well, tell me what to do and I'll do it type of thing anyway.
Yeah. Okay, well, actually, that's a great segue. Let's move on to, actually, Travis, this is the pricing that we're looking at.
Yeah, I saw.
So you guys know that we charge for our 2-hour workshops, we charge $149 for those. These people who decide to register for our Sales Success Summit are not paying that much more for a full 2-day event with up to
Yeah.
12 webinars. So like when I was talking to Nick about this pricing, I think it's right on the money.
I don't
It's,
see an issue with it, especially the
yeah.
185. Like, what I would suggest is look at our ones that we do sell a lot of, like go
Mhm.
back to the list that you have.
Mhm.
And like I for individuals or whatever, I can hammer those lists at the 185 if you want.
Cool.
Just say, hey,
Cool.
you've attended, even if we took a
Love that.
snapshot of who have come to multiple ones,
Yeah.
they've already spent $300, $400, $500, $600 with us, and say, hey, you can get all of this for 185. I wanted to call you first because you've attended so many already. Like, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to do that.
That's awesome, Travis. Yeah, I've been noticing, especially from our like writing workshops, a lot of the workshops that Lisa just did for us. The people who are attending are repeat attendees,
Definitely.
which is huge to that point. Like this is not that much more than what they would spend on a
45 bucks
2-hour.
more.
Yeah.
45 bucks more for the whole 2-day thing than the last session that they did with us.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess first things first is we need to get the agenda up, obviously. A lot of this is going to be based on outreach between Catherine and Mandy and your APs. We've done a little bit of prep work, but obviously like you guys have the relationship with these guys. So what we've done is in the messages there, you'll see I've just sent out what the link is for the email template for to send over to our AEPs. Pretty casual. We want them to know that this is their opportunity to really showcase themselves in front of the Canadian sales community. And we're obviously going to change these dates a little bit, but they're looking at a 30-40 minute presentation maximum with a little bit of Q&A. It's really not that much time to spend on this, but the opportunity to really show yourself in front of 150, 200 people. So this is what we're using as a template. As you can see, the theme is sales growth and recovery. And this is exactly it. For our members in the sales community, for our members and the sales community, the conference will provide opportunities to hone their sales skills and prepare for a strong 2022, which I think ties into the timing a lot. But yeah, this is exactly what we're hoping to send over to them. Feel free to change it if you'd like. Like I said, I've already reached out to Shane Gibson to take part in our keynote session. And then I think a lot of the work is, for the keynotes at least, is probably going to be within like Sandro and Nick's community and kind of who they're talking to. I know Nick had expressed interest in joining with David Jeffries from Salesforce to do our day 2 keynote. But do you think something like this would work for your AEPs, you guys? Like something super casual like this?
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah.
Are we charging them? Sorry to interrupt, Catherine. Is there a
No,
fee
it's
for
okay.
them?
No, so there is no fee. Kind of the whole idea is for them to be able to, you know, highlight themselves to the sales community. So
So
no,
this is an offering that we're offering to the AEPs that we've partnered with,
first.
and
Yeah.
if you'd like one of these slots, jump on it ASAP and get something together. Do they need to then get that info approved of what they're going to be
Yeah,
talking
I'll
about
show
and stuff?
you. Yeah, so I've created a little bit of like an internal submission form on the
Nice.
website, and I'll send you guys this link afterwards. I'm pretty much just highlighting what the AEPs would do for the sales community and what type of value they would bring. The format, this is tentative for now, but this is what we're looking for. And then over here it says present at the CPSA's Sales Success Summit, October 26th and 27th, apply now. So when they click on apply now, they're going to be sent over to a SurveyMonkey link. It's super simple. Your name, email address, company, title of your proposed presentation, length of your presentation in minutes, just a quick, you know, description, and then their proposed, or sorry, their preferred time slot.
Rupin, have we entertained and I guess it would mean it would only be if we wouldn't say no to an AEP, but if we entertain the thought of a customer showcasing?
Yeah, so we're going to give first access to the AEPs, obviously to the AEPs and part of the council as well. But then we're going to branch outwards. So I know, for instance, like Steve Slonwhite had seen our social post on this a couple of weeks ago. He emailed me right at, like, I want to say 5-10 minutes after it was posted, just being like, hey, like, I would love to participate in this. How do I do that? And we've let him know that we've given kind of first right of refusal to our AEPs, but then afterwards, yeah, for sure, we'll need to branch out.
And what do you guys feel like, Catherine and Mandy? I know Mandy maybe don't have a really good gauge on it yet, but do you think they'll be jumping to do this? I would assume so, right? If we can say, hey, we're trying to get 200 people plus to, you know, listen to what you have to offer specifically and in line with the partnerships that we have together and stuff like that. Like to me, it sounds like a no-brainer. Like we should be able to fill those spots without issue.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be is getting the really good, they can't be sales pitches, which I don't think, I mean, our AEPs are smart enough people to know that, but they really have to be around giving insight around a certain topic, like, you know, culture, or there's all these
like
different things that are coaching.
Not just here's my info. Yeah.
Coaching is a big issue. A culture, how creating culture, sales culture, what's really talking about what the heck is consultative selling, because people think consultative selling is just really fancy problem solving, but what is like these topics that are really becoming burning issues, if we can highlight the business issues and then have the AEP speak to the business issue, I think that would be huge value.
So would it be worth ranking our AEPs before reaching out? Right? Like, who do we think could add the most value? Who's number one on the list, number two on the list? And then instead of sending that email to all and hoping to get, you know, 6 or 8 back, do we go to the ones that we think will be the most, bring us the most value to the people attending the sessions?
So we have the room, like if our AEPs, if all of them choose to take part, like we have the room for all of them to take part for the 2 days. So I do like the idea of maybe not ranking them, but even just kind of putting everybody in silos, if that makes sense. Like Shane Gibson would obviously present on the new virtual economy. Lisa Leach, tech titans, no longer road warriors type thing. We could have Nancy.
Yeah, I like that, and like a mix of everything, so that
Yeah,
you can go to every session
for sure.
and benefit from it. Not just, okay, Steve talked about this and Jim, and then this person talked about this, and it all kind of, like Catherine said, is a sales pitch for their company, and that's like, we could just
Can't
do
be.
that for 2 days ourselves, right? And be like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
'cause I
Like,
think if we might want to focus in to is ask the AEPs specifically that this is what we're hoping you would bring to the table, and then we branch out.
well, yeah, like that's typically the approach that we use when we're onboarding APs, right? Like when we're onboarding the APs, we're asking them, as part of this process, we want you to introduce yourself in front of our community. And
Yeah.
part of how we're doing that is we're giving you the opportunity to do an introductory webinar to the public, members, non-members, with this type of promotion, with this type of marketing. Make sure that it's not a huge sales pitch. Like, this is your opportunity to really, really show the community what type of content and resources and tools you provide. Like, this is a taste of your training, basically. So yeah, people are going to lose interest if it's a literal sales pitch, right? But if it's actual, a teaser of like tangible skills that you otherwise would show on a deeper level in your training, then I think it could definitely work.
I like it.
Okay, so I think from my perspective, rather than sending out an email to my AEPs and just have a touch point with them saying this is what's happening, here's what I thought might be real of interest to you, because you're doing some great work on the culture side of things, and that's that's an important topic. Would
I'd
you
love you to
present on
showcase
culture?
it to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, it's a coming out party for everyone, right?
Yeah.
This could be a really cool, like, think about it in person, like this would be a very fun, like, real conference to join.
Yeah. I wish it was in person. That'd be so much fun.
I know.
Excuse me.
What was the one we used to go to, Mandy? Say, is this like a smaller
something of leadership and something of sales and something of
we used to go, but there'd be hundreds of people going to them.
They're huge.
Yeah, they're massive.
Art of, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we went to
CPSA?
so many.
No.
Oh.
Art of
Art of sales.
Art of is kind of like a TEDx. So they'll do like an art of leadership, or like an art of leadership with women, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they did art of sales as well, which I think we were an exhibitor for twice. I remember.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, fun.
But yeah, like this is a very similar idea. Like we have the subject matter experts in sales, like come to what essentially is a one-stop shop over 2 days to learn from them.
I like it.
And I just sent you guys in the chat thing there. The last link that I sent is kind of like our homepage for AEPs. But
so
yeah,
have the conversation and send them that link essentially, right?
Yeah.
That way you collect all the info that you need, and
and even it. Sorry, Catherine, go ahead.
No, so is that in the email invite, Ruplan?
No, I just put it in the chat box here, but I'll send it out in an email. Yeah.
No, I meant in your email to AEPs. Is that link in there? The email that you provided to us?
I'll make sure it is. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
What else can I share with you guys? Does anybody have any more questions?
You're gonna vet the topics, right?
Sure am. Yeah, for sure. Like they're all of our AEPs, like for the past like 2 years, everybody has been really, really on it when it comes to super topical content. But yeah, we'll go through all of it for sure. I'll go through all of their presentations. We'll go through the content. We'll go through the marketing and the descriptions and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Have you got some thoughts on the topics, Mandy?
No, I feel like even if each if each AEP kind of touched on a different
Mhm.
industry topic, that would be really cool. Like how the automotive business has been affected, or I mean, it doesn't have to be that specific, but I think we have such a broad customer base for industries. It would be interesting to see what they come up with and
Yeah.
where their specialties are.
See you, Travis.
I didn't know
Yeah.
if we're close. I can stay. It's just I hear my
No.
kid grumbling.
Oh my
do you
God, no.
No?
No, it's all good. The only thing that I was going to go through next was the go-to market plan. Travis, I'll just send it to you.
Well, if you're going through it now, I can do it.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Let me
Not
do
to
this. Let me-
rush you.
No. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, I just saw some timelines that sales was supposed to do things 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I'm
Don't worry
really
about-
hoping
no,
that.
No, don't. Let's not talk about that. This was done 2 weeks ago. But it took a little while to get everything in place. But this is exactly what we want to do in terms of kind of the steps. So only use this as steps. Don't look at these dates yet. Let's hide this. Let's
Catherine's
hide this.
behind. Surprise, surprise.
Where we need the sales team is going to be, obviously outreach to the AEPs, to secure webinar spots. We're looking at the reminders also and the deadlines for AEPs. We'll send out reminders like to you guys as well when we get closer to the date. Pretty much like with any type of e-communication that we send about the early bird specials or last chances, whatever, you guys will know, and you guys will just act as like a quick nudger to your AEP, just saying, we're 2 weeks out and we need your content, for instance. Or on the other hand, if you guys have sales teams that you are that you're in contact with who are interested in like our own training and you feel that they might be interested in the conference as well, like you guys can act as the liaison for that, obviously, especially you, Trav. But yeah, everything is in line with the e-communication. So early bird specials, we have 7 emails going out between pretty much next week and October 27th. But you'll see everything go out, and kind of our biggest priority for me right now is to be able to get those topics from our AEPs and to fill up the agenda. And then it's all kind of like Mihan's team with Mike and Ashley, and then the outreach, right?
Not to bring dates back into it, but when are you hoping to have
The
these
AEPs.
lined up?
The AEPs.
Because I don't want to call that list of past attendees without being able to say, hey, this is what we're, I don't want to waste a call and say, yeah, we're going to be offering, you know what I mean?
I don't start any of that until we have the product pages. So pretty much what's on me and Nick's plate is being able to build the payment pages, right? So we need to create what will be the non-member price and the member price and then the early pricing. So I wouldn't say like, look at that document for dates. I will rejig everything up, and me and Nick will figure out what those links will look like so that you have them ready and accessible. But on the other hand, Travis, like if you're going to have a team of like 5 people from Habitat Humanity who want to get invoiced, we'll sort that out as well.
Yeah, no, I'm just more thinking of if we go over if I take a bunch of the people from the last webinars and call them.
Oh yeah, I would say
like once we're ready to start filling seats up and stuff like that. Obviously, some of the go-tos like the Habitat, like I'm going to reach out to her right away, that kind of thing. But I mean, I'd like to take the list of all of them and try to find the duplicates and then start with those ones kind of thing.
I can do that. Like I'll just pull the list of every registrant that we've had for our 2-hour workshops, and if there are duplicates, we'll highlight them.
Yeah, perfect. So whenever, it doesn't need to be a priority, but that I can hammer that list, no problem. And yeah, okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Me and Nick will probably have it ready like next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna run before my kid starves, and then CAS gets here, and then I'm in jail and all that stuff, and then I have to blame Ruplin and
just feel like this girl was on a meeting for too long and I couldn't feed my kid.
If you get a call from Andrea, just don't accept.
I will blame it all on you. Can blame it on me.
Okay, guys, have a good afternoon. I'll see you later.
Bye. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Any other questions, guys?
No, pretty
Honestly,
straightforward.
we don't have like every detail ironed out. So I think once we have the vision for maybe even themes, that could be next steps. Like we could slot into, like I said, like we can slot in the AEPs into themes, but I also don't want to like feel like we're limiting them, right? Like I want Lisa to be able to come to us and be like, no, I want to talk about motivating your sales team, for instance, right? Because maybe that's what she has the most content on, or what her next training in the fall or the winter is going to be on. So we'll work with them to figure out what is best to present.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so
sounds good.
I'll keep you guys posted on like every detail as we kind of build on this. And then yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think this will be. I think it'll be very good. I think the AEPs will take this happily as a way to get their face out there. They like to talk, so
Oh my
they'll
gosh,
be
yeah.
very happy to put their face on something.
Like we've never been like out of webinars, you know what I mean? Like someone has always wanted to take part in our webinars as an opportunity to get in front of people and showcase, you know, what they do and the type of training that they have. So if this is like our inaugural kind of online conference for what essentially is a figurehead of sales in Canada, like it's a pretty big opportunity. And you know, the marketing is going to be pretty thorough on this as well. 7 touch points, for instance, on email in and of itself. We're planning on doing individual social posts for every session as well, so that every AEP gets the opportunity to showcase their individual content. And yeah, I think it'll be good. A kind of tight of a timeline there. We've got a few months, but we'll see. I think it'll be good.
I think it's going to be awesome. I know if you're putting it together, it's going to be good, Ruby.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I hope.
Absolutely.
And like, let me know, like, if you're having conversations with your AEPs and they're unclear about things, or maybe they need more details, like everything is movable, flexible, like we can cater to them. So just let me know.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
think to Mandy's point, they'll jump all over this.
I hope so.
It'll be our key is putting the right theme in place and getting the business issues nailed that our clients want to hear about, right?
Yeah, and to
So.
your point about kind of connecting the attendees with the AEP, that's a big opportunity for us that I don't want to lose out on or miss on. So I'll talk to Nick after this to figure out a way to kind of get to these people first, right?
Yeah, I'm not as concerned now. The model seems to have shifted. So I mean, in the past it was a concern. I'm getting a different vibe for sure.
That's good. Happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thanks,
I'll talk to
Ruby.
you later. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.